Alright, hi. My name's Angela. Okay, that's Arlie. That's not my dog. I'm watching her. She's fucking annoying. Please don't eat my chapstick. This video is about... Oh, get your asshole. Stop mooning. This video is about 65 non-vegan excuses and how to respond them. Basically, arguments on why it's justified, why it's okay to eat animals when in reality it's not. Maybe if you're in a survival situation, if you're on like an island, I don't know. You can be vegan in nature. A lot of people don't think that. A lot of people... Bro, my stuffed animal! A lot of people don't know that yes, you can live in the woods and be a vegan. It is very possible. Stop it! Anyways, I'm gonna give her attention. So, holy crap. Alright. Can you settle down for 1 minute? Don't you just love dogs? Okay. The number one excuse. It doesn't harm animals to eat them. That's crazy. That is so crazy. The definition of harm is physical injury, especially that which is deliberately inflicted. As such, firing a pneumatic bolt pistol into their forehead, then slitting their throat, shocking them with electricity, and then slitting their throat are done to deliberately inflict a physical injury. Regardless of the manner of execution, it is harm to kill an animal. I mean, I don't even have to go over that again. Like, that just makes sense. A lot of people don't use that excuse, so... But it is an excuse that is used. It doesn't harm animals to take their eggs. That's what a lot of people say. People say the same thing with milk. I'll get to that one eventually. Okay, I get it. Stop it. This is a female dog. I don't understand. In the egg industry, only females are required because males don't lay eggs. As such, in the breeding process, the males and females are divided when they hatch, and the males are killed immediately as they serve no purpose. Their first day of life, yeah, they're killed. They're put into like a fucking blender, or they gas them. And subsequently, their sisters go on to be kept in captivity until their egg production is no longer profitable to the farmer, at which point they have their throats slit. This is generally at around 1 or 2 years old. The average lifespan of a chicken is 8 years. I think that's not even accurate. I think I've heard that chickens can live like 10 to 15 years. Whoa. She's getting like feisty. I get it. You know, go find a boyfriend. I'm a human. Yeah. What was I saying? So, like, I think, so it's a billion annually. A billion male chicks are killed on their first day of life a year. 300 million in the US alone. So, if you're buying eggs, I hate to say it, vegetarians, you're still murdering animals. I mean, you're not doing it yourself, you're paying someone to do it, which is still not justified to, like, have someone do it on your behalf, but I'm sure that's in here, too. It doesn't harm animals to take their milk. In the dairy industry, only females are required because males don't produce milk. Like all mammals, cattle produce milk to feed their young once they give birth. Guess what? These titties, guess what? They only lactate when I have a baby, which I probably will never do because adoption is the way. But anyways, if I had a baby, my nipples would lactate, you know, the baby sucks on the nipple, you know. Human milk is for humans. Cow's milk is for calves. You're not a fucking baby cow. I don't care. So, it is a misconception that cows just produce milk non-stop. So many people think this. I think there was also a study done, like 50% of Americans think that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. Are y'all okay? I live in the wrong country, bro, because please tell me in the comments, where is the country with the most intelligent people? I'm moving there as ASAP, bro. When I get the money, I'm gonna move to the where the smart people are at, okay? Americans are stupid in many ways, but this is one of them. If you're drinking cow's milk, I'm sorry, I'm not calling you stupid, but yeah, it's not good for your health. You're killing baby animals. So they do so only once impregnated. As such, when a male is born, they didn't even specify here. You know how she's impregnated? The farmer sticks his arm into her cervix. It's rape. I don't care. I mean, I do care. That's why I'm actually advocating for a plant-based diet. Please stop killing animals for no necessity. I'm so smug. I hate it. I'm cocky like a chicken. Hey, come sit in my lap. Come sit in Santa's lap. Ow, my ear. So when as such, you know, after she's impregnated, when a male is born, he will be slaughtered. Either he is culled immediately or he is sold into the veal industry and then killed after a few weeks of living in confinement, or he is sold into the beef industry and killed as soon as he reaches a profitable size, which will be about 1 year old. If the calf is female, typically she will be I can't see it right now because she's moving me around. Typically she has the same fate as her mother. They give her bottled milk, which she could just breastfeed from the mother, but they take the baby cow away, and then the mother is like sad and crying forever. Let's see. If the calf is female, typically she will be removed from her mother so that the milk can be stolen. Yes, thank you, stolen. It is not consensual. Meat, eggs, and dairy are stolen. Meat, eggs, and dairy. And honey. Honey is stolen too. Don't forget that one, because yes, you're not vegan if you eat honey. Also, it's just sugar. There's nothing healthy about it. Anyways, then she is used in the same manner. Once a mother's milk production is less profitable, she has her throat slit. Obviously, they go to the beef industry. That generally happens after 2 milking cycles, when she would be around 6 years old. The average lifespan of a cow is 20 or 25 years. Yeah, but what about free range? Let's see what it says. Grass-fed, organic, free range, etc., regardless of the nature of their lives before slaughter, farmed animals get sent to slaughter. There is a misconception that animals get to live out their lives and then get killed. Animals get killed as soon as their purpose is served, or as soon as they reach a profitable size, which is at a fraction of their potential lifespan. The very definition of grass-fed, organic, free-range animals is actually very loose and can vary wildly. It doesn't mean that the animals have any kind of quality of life necessarily. It just means that the farm has to meet some arbitrary requirements to earn that title. That's not to say that every single farmer treats their animals dreadfully while they live. Some actually do give their animals a fair standard of life before sending them to have their throats slit, but it's ignorant to think it's the norm in the first place. Also, I don't know if this website has it on there, but 99% of animals are factory farmed. There's essentially, when you buy something, you have no way of knowing where it came from. I mean, you can, like, bro, tell me you called up that farmer and you asked them for footage, you asked them for, like, all the details, all the nitty-gritty of how their animals lived and then how they were treated in the slaughterhouse after. Guess what? No, you didn't. You don't know how each animal you eat was treated. Most people are buying factory farmed animals. That's how we sustain the population. We don't have room on the planet for, like, open fields of, cows and such. Hell, I've never even seen pigs in an open field. I think all pigs are in factory farms. Don't know why I'm laughing. That's terrible. They deserve their rights. But cows need to be milked, right? That is right. But we don't need to impregnate them. Like all mammals, cows only produce milk to feed their young. In the dairy industry, the calf is taken away from the mother, and if male killed as such, the mother will be producing milk, and in the absence of her child, will need to be milked. In quotations. This is no justification for the process, of course. If you were to kill a woman's baby boy while she was trying to breastfeed him, you could hardly claim to be doing her a favor by then stealing her milk because it needed to be done. The whole process doesn't need to be done. Okay, I have not seen that one yet. I haven't heard that excuse yet either. I think I've seen it, like, online, but I mean, that's not really an excuse. It's more of a question, like, cows need to be milked, right? I mean, I guess maybe... Who is using this as an excuse? Like, yes, they need to be milked, but their calf can suck it from their nipple fine. Doesn't harm animals to take their wool. I don't think most people use this excuse because most people are like, they don't want their cheeseburgers or their chicken nuggets taken away. Most people are like, oh, it's wool. I don't care. Like, I've never owned wool in my life. I wouldn't say, oh, I can't go vegan because I need to have cotton, or I need to have wool. Sorry, cotton. Yeah, I do need cotton. No one needs wool. I've seen somebody say that, like, oh, well, what about winter time? You're stupid. In the lamb mutton industry, the primary purpose of farming sheep is to kill them. They are killed when they reach a profitable size, which will vary from farm to farm. But like practically all farmed animals, it is done very early into their lives since animals become fully grown at a very early time in their life. The wool is taken and sold, and then the animals are subsequently killed. Buying wool funds the practice. This has to be common sense, bro. Like, you cannot buy ethically made wool. I don't care. No, they don't need to be shaved. Guess what? Because we breeded them to be that way. We breeded them to be, naturally, like, if we let sheep and lambs live in the wild, they would shed their own coat. We breeded them to grow more wool so we could sell it and profit off their fucking bodies. Can you stop? I'm about to sell you and make you into a sandwich. I'm just kidding. That wouldn't taste good. No, it's because she is sentient. She has eyes. She's conscious. Look, she's moving around. She has a brain. She doesn't need to be killed. Just like, pigs who are actually more intelligent than dogs. See, look at this cutie. Yeah, look at her. Imagine slitting her throat. Like, that's what you're doing to other animals. I hope you feel guilty. Okay, yes, you're calm. I like it. Of course, there are many other issues, such as breeding animals into captivity for our own uses and cruel treatment during the removal of the fleece, and so forth. Yes, it's common practice to literally beat animals or like hit them with razors while they're being shaved. No, it's not. It's not like, wool is cruel, basically. It doesn't harm animals to take their silk. Silk is made from the cocoon of a silkworm. The silkworms wrap themselves in a single strand of silk, and they live inside the cocoon until they develop into a moth. In the silk industry, the farmers require a single long strand of silk. If the moths are left alone, they chew through the cocoon to escape. So the farmers kill all of them, either by boiling them alive or stabbing them with needles. Then the cocoons can be unraveled. Hold on, I didn't know this. So they need a long strand of silk. So if they're left alone, they chew through the cocoon. Farmers kill them by boiling them or stabbing them. See, there's like debate on whether insects have sentience. Like, because, well, honestly, I've heard that excuse, like, oh, well, you know, you take part in society. You drive a car. You live in a house. You know, whatever it is, you drive over bugs. You live in a house that potentially, like, you know, like, I'm sure people step on bugs all the time. You know, while the construction of this apartment was going on, maybe, like, there were bugs and people were stepping on them or building things on top of them. You know what I'm saying? I can't stop participating in society. I hope you understand that. Like, I need money to live. It's an unfortunate fact, especially, I don't know, I'm just not fit for the lifestyle of living outside. And that's not because I'm vegan, it's just because it's fucking cold and camping is boring. We got hobbies, man. I can't do like real like stuff if I'm living in a tent. I would be like a caveman. It doesn't harm animals to take their honey. Honey is produced by bees so that it can be stored as a food source. On the most fundamental level, it is their property. Taking it is theft. But beyond this, there are a number of ethical issues. The standard practices for retrieving honey involve killing bees by incidentally crushing them. Oh yeah. Bees are sprayed to subdue them while accessing the hive. When honey is stolen, it is then replaced with a syrup alternative, which is not the same as honey and is essentially depriving the bee of their natural food. See, that I didn't know. Beehives are extremely sensitive, and opening them up is highly unnatural for the bees. I want food right now, bro. Who work to keep a particular atmosphere. Oh, opening them up is unnatural for the bees. Opening a beehive is unnatural. Sorry, I said that weird. I didn't know this either. Who work to keep a particular atmosphere inside, which gets disrupted. On top of this, selective inbreeding of bees has weakened the species as a whole, and transportation of bees to places and environments they not normally travel to means transportation of diseases that would not normally affect the local population of bees, which is hazardous to bees in general. Yeah, so they actually do the same thing they do in with cows. Like, they'll clip the bee's wings, artificially inseminate her because they jacked off a worker bee. It's just insane. Like, how do you do that to a bee? Like, yeah, let's just jerk off this bee. I'm sorry, if you're a meat eater, you support bestiality. That's what my opinion is. So something about traveling. They'd not normally travel. Yeah, I mean, like, they definitely, like, they take the hives and put them, on their farm or something, and it's not their environment. They don't live there. They don't want to live there. They're just taken there. Fuck. Imagine having, like, your entire existence taken away in a jar of honey. Like, that was your life's work, was this jar of honey. And this human takes it and replaces it with something that you don't know what it is. You don't know if it's nutritionally the same. Fuck humans. It's a misconception that honey farming is a benefit to the overall bee population. True, bro. If you actually give a fuck about bees, if you want to have food to eat in the future, bro, stop eating honey. Forget it. Give it up. You don't need it. It's just sugar. Probably causes diabetes, honestly, but if you'd like more information, please check out this source. Yeah, so, yeah, pesticides definitely have a role in, like, taking away the bee population currently, what's happening. But so does honey farming. So why is this not opening? Okay, it opened. Hell yeah. Do you want one? Oh, you're so cute. This one is crazy. They said, buy the food. What is the saying of this brand? I don't know. They said, your food should be outstanding. Eat what you are. Outstanding cheese balls. It's plant-based, though. And no, it's not expensive, but I bought it online. I think they have it in, like, the store, but they had a deal going on, so here. I just like the taste. Before I even read this, I wouldn't even respond to this argument. It's not an argument. Like, meat is often seen as just being a type of food. But it's a dead body of a once living creature. To say I just like the taste is to say killing is justified if I like the flavor of their dead body. If we follow through with this, then somebody would be justified in killing your pets if they like the taste. Which surely nobody would agree with. You would think. Or even extend it to humans and say that if somebody likes the taste of human flesh, then it's fine to murder people. Jeffrey Dahmer, y'all. Please don't lick my finger while you're taking that. It's my personal choice. It's my personal choice to take her head and cut it off. Doesn't make it okay. It cannot be called a personal choice when it involves harming a third party or a trivial reason, which is your desire to enjoy eating them or their secretions. Secretions. What an amazing word to describe milk and eggs. Well, and honey. Morality is subjective. You can't prove it's wrong for me. Even if you think that morality is subjective, your ethics should still be backed by logic. They are not random, nor are they plucked from thin air as such. The question is simple: do you have any consideration for animals or not? Most people would say that they care about animals, or at the very least would not like to needlessly harm them. Farming animals for consumption is needless, and so all harm visited upon them, including their slaughter, is needless also. These are so good, I'm drooling. So your own subjective view should be to avoid harming them if you have any consideration for them whatsoever. Also, I want to add to that. So, saying morality is subjective sounds like something Hitler would say. You know, like, I don't know. It makes sense, right? Like, oh, well, how many was it? Millions? Yeah, it was millions, not billions. Billions of people have died, but not Jews. So he could say, like, oh, well, killing millions of Jews, well, I don't care. I don't care because morality is subjective. You think it's immoral, but I don't. Saying morality is subjective basically means you can do anything. That's basically what that means. My friend used that as an excuse, and I said, guess what, Hitler? Also, Hitler was vegetarian. Not for ethical reasons, though. He had a heart, condition. Or something. He was like, yeah, morality is subjective, and I was like, guess what? You're telling me it's okay to rape women. And I blocked him. Because, fuck you, you stupid trophy hunter. I don't know why I was friends with him. It's a matter of opinion, like religion. Religion is based upon ancient scripture, tradition, dogma, and superstition. Not sure if I agree with that, but veganism is based on having consideration for animals and a desire to avoid animal abuse. Animal abuse is real. Animals are being exploited and killed in their billions. It's a reality, can be proven to you. You might say it's a matter of opinion that we'd like to avoid it, but if you claim to have any consideration for animals whatsoever, then you will be in agreement. It's just a matter of culture, social norms. Culture, social norms develop over time. Whether it's slavery, women have the vote, or anything else, the fact that it was ever the norm or part of a culture is not a justification for it. If you think that culture is the justification, then you look at other cultures. You must advocate for every single practice that they do, regardless of how clearly unethical it is. It's not a rational point of view. You should be able to form a view on a practice regardless of where it happens. So if you say that killing dogs is unacceptable because your culture says so, but you think that it's fine if other cultures do it, consider the following. If someone is about to kill a dog in your culture, would you really say, excuse me, can you please cross the border to that other culture where that kind of thing is the norm? Then I will stop caring about that dog. This is about the victim. It doesn't matter where it happens. Our ancestors did it. Before I even read this, our ancestors pick bugs out of their hair. They literally burn fire to cook food. Burn fire, whatever. They, like, didn't speak English, you know, they hit people with their, like, their rocks. I don't know what it was. Their clubs. They used clubs for hunting. They were not progressive. They were not developed. If you live in a modern society and you're reading this on the internet, clearly you must acknowledge that you do not live like your ancestors. Your ancestors did many things that you avoid, and you do plenty of things that they never did. Times have changed. We can choose to live non-violently and avoid harming those that pose no threat to us. We got canine teeth. I don't think this one says it, but guess what? I have a vagina. I said that weird. I have a vagina. Does that make it okay for me to go hop on someone's dick without their consent? 'Cause bitch, you know, if I had a dick, yeah, you have a dick, right? Yeah, that makes it okay to rape. The fuck? Even if we had massive fangs, it wouldn't justify killing animals for the enjoyment of eating their dead bodies. It's proven time and time again. We can live on a plant-based diet in great health, so the shape of our teeth puts us under no obligation to kill. But if we look at this argument more closely, firstly, there are animals with far bigger canines than us who eat a plant-based diet. Hippos, like primates and rhinos and so forth. What is it? Not chimps, but gorillas. Gorillas are plant-based. They're fucking strong AF. Strong as fuck. Hippos, strong. Rhinos, they're all plant-based. Elephants, that's my favorite. Secondly, our own canines are only named that way because of their position and biological classification in our jaw. I did not know that. Their position and biological classification. They have no similarity at all with true canines, which actual carnivores have, like lions. They're of no use in biting through raw animal hide, especially not that of a living creature. Yeah, sneak onto a farm and bite a cow. There's your answer. Circle of life. I don't understand this one, because the circle of life just means that you live and you die. Like, animals live and they die. Plants, they live and they die. This one doesn't even make sense. I'm not really sure what this means, but I will try to cover it. If the suggestion is that you live, you die, therefore killing is fine, then this would justify killing companion animals and also humans. If the suggestion is we kill an animal so that we can live, then this is false. Animals are killed for the enjoyment of eating their dead bodies. It's not a matter of survival, as proven by all the hundreds of millions of vegans in the world. Natural? So not true. Untrue that you only do things that you consider to be natural. You use the internet, you presumably use a car or a bus or a plane, so on and so forth. Makeup. Literally vibrators, pocket pussies. Use modern technology and do various other things that cannot be called natural. Likewise, there are other things that are natural that you avoid. Natural is pretty cruel. Like camping. I don't avoid camping, but I think it's extremely boring. I like it, but I just don't do it often. Nature is pretty cool, and we actually live life in modern society trying to avoid the perils of nature. I love that sentence. You might argue that anything is natural which humans are capable of. But if you argue that, then the justification it's natural would apply to literally any human behavior, and as such is ridiculous, since you would not say that any human behavior is justified just because a human did it. God put animals here for us to kill, Bible says so. Regardless of what it says in the Bible, you are not obliged to kill animals as part of your religion. Nobody would argue that the Christian God would send you to hell if you are vegan, surely. There isn't a quota for how many animals you have to kill per day, so religion isn't a factor here. It's been happening for hundreds of years. That's kind of the same way with ancestry. The amount of time that something has been happening is not all linked to how harmful it is to the victims. Indeed, the fact that it has been going on so long just underlines how you're touching my computer. All right. Chill. I'm sorry. The fact that it has been going on so long just underlines how harmful it has been, because the death toll is so high it will never be calculated. Ooh. Never thought about that. And has been entirely unnecessary since we were able to harvest crops successfully. Oh, I thought they were talking about humans. They're talking about animal deaths. Okay. With this altitude, nothing would ever change in society. Attitude, oh my god. With this attitude, nothing would ever change in society. And things that used to happen for hundreds of years, like slavery and so on, would continue today, because that's what has been happening. We have to eat animal products to survive. This is false, as proven by all the hundreds of millions of vegans in the world. They're bred to be killed, so it's fine. Following this logic, if somebody has a dog living with them and she is pregnant, then simply standing there and saying, when those puppies are born, I'm going to kill them, would be enough justification for doing so. That, of course, is absurd, because you are not in a position to determine the fate of an animal. If the argument is that some animals have been selectively bred for consumption, then again, that is not a justification. The entire process of selectively breeding them was done at the hands of humans, and all subsequent loss of life is at their say-so and is entirely unnecessary. They wouldn't have been born without farmers. We did them a favor. Alright. I have a baby, right? That baby has a terrible life. You know, I beat him. I didn't feed him right. I didn't give him any water. I don't know. He dies. Whatever. It would be better if I didn't have that baby, okay? There's plenty of people, for example, that don't want to be born. They kill themselves all the time. It's better to have not existed than to have lived a terrible life. That, I think, is common sense. Bringing a life into the world does not justify taking it. And think this through. In the egg industry, as soon as males are hatched, they are killed immediately. Did you really do that chicken a favor by bringing them into the world then to immediately be killed? Nobody can seriously say yes to this, but that is precisely what is going on every day, and you fund that if you buy eggs. You fund all eggs. Free-range eggs. It's all eggs. All eggs kill baby male chicks. Animals bred for meat are killed as soon as they reach a profitable size, which will typically be a few months old or about a year. You didn't do that animal any favors. Finally, let's extend this to animals besides livestock. You have a dog, they're pregnant. Does that mean you can slit the puppy's throats because you were the one who arranged for your dog to get pregnant? Of course not. It's nothing to do with it. I hope nobody breeds their dogs. Did I just say that? Sorry, I live in a fucking dystopia of humans who think they're, I don't know, who think they can dominate animals when in reality it's just, I mean, you can, but you're a shitty person. What about tribes who have to hunt to survive? If somebody has to kill to survive, then that's their only option. Anybody who isn't in that situation shouldn't bring this up as it has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with you. Like, you're in a first world country, bro. Like, you have other options. You're going into a supermarket. It's not survival. You're going into shop. Like, what do you mean? Natural. You're fucking shopping. I hate people with the natural excuse. Oh my god, it's not we're raping cows to make them exist. That's not natural, bro. What if you're on a deserted island? If you're in a situation where you will starve to death unless you consume animal products, and that's your only option. Thankfully, you're not in that situation, so it has nothing to do with anything. If you get bitten by a snake, you would take anti-venom. If your choice is to die horribly or to take a cure, then it is totally understandable to take the cure. Consuming animal products for no other reason than the enjoyment of it is not comparable to doing something which will save your life. Some might say that I'm advocating the farming of snakes for their anti-venom. Frankly, I have not looked into it as I don't live in a region where being bitten by a snake is an issue, and I choose to avoid such places. Animals aren't as intelligent as us, so it's fine to slit their throats. Intelligence is not a valid justification for taking life. To put this simply as possible, cats, dogs, and hamsters are not as intelligent as us, but most people would be appalled to think of that as a reason to kill them or harm them. You're humanizing animals. They're not the same as us. Choosing not to harm animals is not the same as saying they are human or treating them as human. All animals are different and require different treatment by us. It doesn't make sense on a practical level to treat any animal as human or to treat any animal as any other type of animal, but that's no reason to be harming them simply because they are not human. Cats and dogs are not human, but it doesn't mean that you have humanized them just because you don't slit their throat. Some animals are to be killed, some aren't. What is this based on? Let's use dogs as an example, as that's the most commonly respected animal in my experience. True. Dogs are our companions. Practically any animal could be your companion if you gave them the chance. Facts, bro. I've made friends with some bugs. Like, whatever. They'll literally just... As long as you're nice to an animal, they'll give you a chance. And it takes nothing away from a human to be nice to an animal. Quote by Joaquin Phoenix. Let's see. People keep pigs as companions. I've thought about doing that. And form bonds with them as strong as you can with a dog. I just like dogs. I don't have a connection with other animals. This is not a justification for killing other animals. Somebody could equally say to you, I don't have a connection with your dog, so I'm just going to slit their throat. Just because of how you feel about an animal doesn't mean that animal is disposable. They are sentient beings. Sentient means feeling, they can experience, they have a consciousness. Dogs are intelligent, other animals are dumb. Pigs are literally more intelligent than dogs. See this fucker right here? Like, pigs, they don't look the same, but they act the same, if that makes sense. Like, can you stop it? Sit down. Sit down, son. Oh, give me a hug. Stop. Sit down. Just because of how you feel, I will slit your throat. I'm just kidding. I hope you don't understand what that means. Other animals are dumb. That is not justification for killing them. Other animals such as cats, hamsters, and so on could be said to be less intelligent than dogs. That doesn't mean you think killing them is fine, presumably. But as it happens, pigs are in many ways more intelligent than dogs. Able to make connections and solve problems. More advanced than anything dogs can do. And can interact on a higher level with video games. Oh, I didn't know that. Make connections, solve problems, higher level video games. They can recognize human faces, understand reflections in a mirror. I have seen a pig looking at their reflection in the mirror, and then they got scared by their reflection. It was a cute video. I need to find that. Respond to commands and so on. If you have any serious consideration for animals, feel free to look up articles on chicken intelligence, cattle intelligence. Yes, cows. Cows are so intelligent. Cows are just big dogs. Stop biting me. I don't know. Do cows bite? Do cows bite you? I think they, gently bite you. Kind of like what she's doing. Cows don't have canines, though. That's the difference. Anyways. Cattle intelligence, sheep intelligence, and so on. It is out of the question that dogs are alone as being intelligent animals. Companion animals are my property like my TV. Holy fuck, if you say this, you sound like Hitler. If this is an absurd comparison. The reason why you'd be upset with someone killing your dog is not because they're your property, it's because they're sentient beings living their own life, and you don't want to harm them to become them. Or you don't want harm to come to them. Damage to your TV is a financial loss. Your companion animals are more than that, surely. I don't know, you would hope. See, look at her. She has a personality. Just our culture, it's actually fine to slit dogs' throat as long as it's done in another culture, not this one. Makes no sense at all. Following through with the statement, you'd be appalled if a dog was killed in front of you, but apparently if that same dog was transported to another country where it is culturally acceptable to kill them, then you'd say it was fine. Think it through. It's the same dog, precisely the same thing is happening to them. Why does it matter where it happens? Yeah, I don't know about that one, bro. If you are... I've heard people tell me that they would eat dogs if they lived in China. I've asked people, are you consistent? Would you eat a dog? And I'm just and they're like, oh, if I was in China, and I'm just like, come on, dude. No, the fuck you wouldn't. No, you would not. I mean, maybe if it was, fucking just what is the word? I'm looking at my computer screen, sorry. If it was, yo, my bad. What's the word? If they didn't know, if they didn't know it was a dog, at first when I was, growing up, I really didn't know what I was eating. I didn't know it was an animal, I didn't even think about it. I'm just like, ooh, food, yeah, I'm eating this, whatever. It's not my fault. I feel bad for all the animals I ate. I would have been born vegan if I had the choice. So... yeah. Why does it matter where it happens? Dogs have been companions of humans for hundreds of years. That's just because humans have chosen for it to be that way. It isn't the fault of them. You could make a companionship with any animal if you chose. There's no reason to be killing them just because you chose not to make a friend of them. You can play catch with a dog and they do tricks. You can do the same with any other species. But why do you want to kill animals who don't want to play catch? Most cats don't want to play catch. They might do other things, but most don't retrieve things and play catch like dogs do. But it doesn't logically follow that you must slit the cat's throat. Dogs are cute. Why do you discriminate against animals based on what they look like? If you come across a dog that isn't cute, are you compelled to slit their throat? If someone doesn't find your dog cute, is it okay for them to slit their throat? Yeah, but it's because I have a connection with my animal. They're like family. Killing animals outside my family is fine. This is a direct comparison between humans and dogs. Therefore, you are saying that killing your dog would be bad because they're like family. Killing anyone outside your family, therefore fine. Would you apply this to strangers then? A human stranger is not part of your family, unlike your dog. The argument of you're humanizing animals cannot be used because you're the one humanizing animals in this case, comparing them to your family. Just because an animal or human is outside your family is no grounds to slit their throat. Also think this through. If you have an animal that currently isn't in your family, you're arguing that it's fine to slit their throat. If you chose to instead adopt them, then immediately it's abhorrent to slit that animal's throat. It's the same animal. Look at this from the animal's perspective, not your own. Humane slaughter. The standard legal form of slaughter for animals is for them to be stunned and then have their throats slit. For chickens and pigs, the stunning is generally done with electric shock. For other animals, a pneumatic bolt pistol projects a metal rod into their forehead. It is claimed that this renders the animal 100% unconscious. But if you actually look into the facts, slaughterhouse workers will admit there is no way to verify that this is the case for every single animal. And indeed, the process doesn't always work, isn't followed routinely, and indeed, the stun can wear off while the animal is being killed. Of course. But regardless of the fashion of execution, there isn't a justification for taking the life. It is still taking the life of a sentient being for your enjoyment, ultimately. If somebody killed your companion animal, I doubt you'd say that's fine because you did it humanely, as described above. Grass-fed, organic, free range. I already went over this. But yeah, they don't live out their lives. They live a fraction of their lifespan, you know. Who cares if it's green grass? You're still killing someone. Killing animals for no reason is wrong, but if you have a reason, it's fine. The reason for killing animals in modern society is for the enjoyment of eating their dead body. That surely is not a justification for taking life. If somebody killed your companion animal, I doubt you'd say it's fine as long as you eat them. Yeah, because, like, okay, if this dog was, like, dying already, I'd probably have to kill her. If she, So I'm looking at the deer on her sweater, and I'm just like, ugh, this fucking owner is a hypocrite. I don't know, should I tell him? Should I tell him that animal products cause cancer? I don't know. It's just karma. I don't know. Everyone is on their own journey right now, and it's like, you know, everyone is gonna go vegan at once, obviously. The world will be vegan one day. I don't know if that'll be in my lifetime. I hope it is. But yeah, it's not sustainable, so the world has to be vegan. Yeah. What other reason would I kill an animal? If they're, like, if they're hurting you. Like, I think it's justified to kill, like, a bear if they're attacking you, for example. The whole world will never be 100% vegan. The whole world is unlikely to ever be free from racism, homophobia, sexism, but that's no reason you should personally practice it. All anybody can do is take responsibility for themselves. The fact that other people are doing something that you consider to be unethical isn't a reason for you to copy them. One person can't make a difference. Untrue. Everybody is responsible for what they're personally doing. The way for numbers to rise is for individuals to take accountability one by one. If you want for there to be multiple vegans to make a difference, then become one. There are hundreds of millions of vegans in the world, so we are not just one person. In the UK, 12% of people are vegetarian or vegan. If you look at the age range of 16 to 24, that ratio rises to 20%. Damn. I've always wanted to live in England. UK is so vegan friendly. Also, I just love British accents, so... And it's a big city, like big cities. It is completely worthwhile to do this, and we are having an effect on the industries. Imagine if someone who is vegetarian or vegan started buying animal products again. That would be a giant increase in demand. Imagine if everyone who is vegetarian or vegan started buying animal products again. That would be an increase in demand. As such, we are keeping demand down by continuing to avoid animal products. One person can't make a difference. Also, they did not mention, but if you're vegan, like, okay, yeah, you might tell other people, they might agree, they might not. But guess what? I bet I've convinced at least 5 people. My grandma's a vegan. Some of my friends are vegan. And it's because of me. Like, so there's, like, certain scenarios, like, I don't know. I don't bring it up out of the blue. I don't know. If they're, like, eating animals in front of me, I'll tell them about it. And I'll tell them why it makes me feel uncomfortable. Because guess what? If you're eating meat around me, bro, I'm not going to shut up because I hate that. I cannot stand it. You're eating feces, bro. There's shit. There's fucking cow shit in beef. So, yeah, that's disgusting to me. I don't want people to do it around me. I don't want people to do it at all. I can't control that, but I do not want them to do it around me. So, yeah. You can't be 100% vegan in modern society, so why bother? In modern society? What do they mean? At this moment, animals and animal products are used in so many ways that it is near impossible to actually live in a way that avoids using any item, device, or vehicle which has no connection with animal exploitation. Right. Like I was saying, I participate in society. Like, when I drive a car, I'm killing bugs. That's the example I'm using. Okay, bugs are dying. I'm not trying to kill them. I just need to transport myself, if this makes sense. Okay, but I did walk to the bank the other day. I didn't drive. It's a short drive, so I was just like, I need to go on a walk. You know, I need fresh air. Whatever. But I probably stepped on a bug. Maybe, I don't know. But that difficulty is no reason to continue to be involved with the things that are extremely easy to avoid and which form the bulk of demand for animal exploitation. Veganism isn't about dogmatically and erratically saying, I am perfect, I harm nothing. Exactly, no one said that. It's about recognizing the harm that is being done by our society and trying to make a change, avoid being part of it as far as we can in future. As more and more people go vegan, there will be more and more alternatives developed because research will be put into new technology. Guess what? I think someone told me there's like 150 brands of vegan cheese. Right now we are a minority, so why would giant corporations be saying, what can we use in car tires apart from this small amount of animal ingredients? But as the world changes, those things will follow and animal use will continue to decline, so it will be easier to avoid animal use in other areas of life. If everyone went vegan, livestock would overpopulate it. Not true. We breed them. Everyone goes vegan, they go out of existence. One of them is going to be eaten. Like, the last one will be eaten. Animals are bred by humans for consumption. As more people go vegan, less animals are bred for consumption. As such, if everyone actually or eventually goes vegan, which may not even happen, and if it did, would gradually take place over many years. That's what I'm saying. It's going to take place over many years. Then animals would no longer be farmed, so their population would not be an issue. If everyone went vegan, livestock would go extinct. So that's better than... I mean, that is better. I mean, it's better to have not existed than have a shit fucking life. You know, imagine get a fucking human's hand in your vagina and then you have a baby and then your loved one is taken away from you and then your fucking throat is slit. Oh, I forgot the part where you're milked continuously. When you're supposed to be milked by your calf. Livestock animals have been selectively bred by humans to be of profit to us. They suffer all kinds of health problems because they are bred to be much bigger than their natural ancestors. Continuing to breed them serves no purpose, even if everyone... Farmers need to be reading this, bro, not me. Continuing to breed them serves no purpose, even if everybody was vegan, there would be no logical reason to keep breeding these animals knowing they will suffer health problems due to the manner of their selective breeding. But even if you disagree with that, and if you really think there should be these selectively bred species or whatever, for whatever reason, that is no reason to also slit their throats. These are endangered species right now, like pandas. There are endangered species like pandas, tigers, rhinos, and so on. I did not know pandas are endangered. That makes me like a fake panda fan because I have a panda tattoo. I just think they're cute. I don't know much about pandas. That's a whole nother topic. I think that's because there's not a lot of bamboo. I think someone told me that. Slitting their throats is no part of their conversation, and to suggest doing so would be ridiculous. Their conservation. Facts. See, that's sad, bro. I'll make them my life's mission. I need to have a pet pig before they go out of existence. Those animals would just be killed in the wild anyways. Oh my god, like nature. Okay. The suggestion is that vegans want all domesticated animals to be released into the wild, but that's not what anyone is suggesting. You can't do that practically because those animals are domesticated and are not natural breeds. They were selectively bred. So it would be releasing billions of animals into ecosystems, which would cause so many unknown problems. What vegans want is for animals to stop being bred. It isn't a question of either they get eaten by wild animals or by us. We don't need to be breeding them at all. You're putting people out of jobs. Oh my god, all these fucking terrible things happening to animals and you care about jobs? The effect on the industry? The economy? There's other jobs. See, like, there's a documentary, I forgot what it's called, but this guy, basically, he's a cow farmer. He does it because his dad did it. He switched to plant-based agriculture, and he's never been happier. It's a short film. Literally, he has an interview, and he's like, he basically says, I hate farming cows. I feel terrible for it. He went vegan, he found out he didn't need to do it. He probably, put his research into it, whatever. Just because a product is available for purchase does not make everybody obliged to buy it. This argument becomes clearly absurd when you apply it to anything else. If you stop smoking, you'll be putting people out of jobs in the cigarette industry. Oh my gosh. So everybody has to smoke. Or if you stop drinking alcohol, you'll be putting people out of jobs in the alcohol industry. So you have to drink. Makes no sense at all. Industries exist to meet a demand, and consumers are not obliged to buy everything on offer and fund every single industry out there. True. If consumers' money is not being spent on one item, it's being spent on another, which means there will be greater demand somewhere else. So the industries change over time to accommodate what consumers want. It doesn't mean job loss in the first place. Exactly. Like, let's say everyone goes vegan overnight. Farmers are gonna switch their farms to, like, plants. I know it's hard to understand. Vegans have no effect on anything. The less... Who said that? Because I haven't heard that, and that's wild. The less people who buy something, the less demand there is. Animals are not being bred and killed regardless of demand. If you have a country of 10 million people, do you think that in a country of 5 million people that the size of the animal farming industry is the same? Of course it isn't. Likewise, you have a country of 10 million non-vegans. Do you think that if that country instead had 5 million vegans and 5 million non-vegans, that the animal farming industry would be the same size again? Of course not. Shops sell animal products and then restock appropriately. If something isn't selling well, they will order less. As such, the warehouses they stock from will then have appropriately sized orders from those shops, and will stock less ingredients to make those products, which means ordering less animal products from slaughterhouses and farms, which means less demand for animals to be bred in the first place. It's just simple math. Yeah, on average, if you go vegan, you save 300 animals, something like that. It's unsustainable. It's the other way around. Over 50 billion animals are raised for slaughter each year. That doesn't include marine animals. In order to feed them, it takes far more land, water, and crops to feed them than it does to just feed us 7 billion humans on plants. Well, there's 8 billion now, but the number of animals being farmed is unsustainable, in fact, causing all kinds of pollution as a result of their manure and the greenhouse gases effect, which is more harmful than all traffic pollution combined. I hate the sustainable argument. Sorry, I've gotten this one. And oh my god, I wanted to tell that person, you're a fucking dumbass. You should not even have the right to talk to me. Seriously, I live in the wrong state. I live in the wrong country. It sucks. Disagree with me. Please feel free to research it, but it's by definition going to require additional farming space, resources, water. What's the number one cause of climate change? Hopefully it's in alignment with the truth. All right, let's see. I found something. Methane released from landfills Damn, that makes me feel guilty for not composting. I have composted before. Methane released from agriculture, landfills, natural gas, petroleum industries. The first thing says agriculture, especially from the digestive systems of grazing animals. Loss of forests. Nitrous oxide from fertilizers. Guess what? More fertilizer is used for animal agriculture. That's National Geographic. If you don't trust them, you're a fucking ditz. It's unhealthy. Oh my god, bro. Ain't no way. You can meet all your requirements on a plant-based diet. There's nothing to fear, and indeed, many athletes take up a plant-based diet specifically because of the benefits. I don't think he's fully vegan, but there is who's that famous dude, bro? Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then Patrick Baboumian. He's a bodybuilder. I think it said he can like lift 1,000 kilograms. Protein. This nutrient is extremely easy to come across. If you're eating the correct RDA of total calories each day, then it is virtually impossible to be short of protein. Deficiency of protein is incredibly rare in modern society and basically only affects people who are starving for whatever reason. It's not a concern for those who are eating a normal amount. The World Health Organization recommends between 5 to 10 of your daily calories to come from protein. Sorry, 5 to 10%. I'm sorry, what? That's not a lot. Okay, you should mainly get your calories from protein. They're underestimating. Anyways, that's weird. World Health Organization. I don't trust everything they say, but well, yes, 5 to 10% of your daily calories should come from protein. I think way more than that should come from protein. Anyways, so many common plant-based foods are in excess of that. Many fall within that range, and only a few things like fruit fall slightly beneath. Oh yeah, fruits are very low in protein. This is really not a concern for anybody. Iron, you can get iron on a plant-based diet. It is in no way exclusive to animal products. Guess what? All that mucoid plaque that you're consuming while you're eating animals and their secretions, mucoid plaque blocks you from absorbing iron. Read more here. Calcium. Ooh, don't get me started. You can get calcium on a plant-based diet. It is in no way exclusive to animal products, and indeed there are cultures who never had cow's milk, and there isn't a wave of osteoporosis. You know how like cow's milk actually takes the calcium out of your bones? To take cow's milk requires domestication of animals, and so by definition can only have been achieved relatively recently in human history. True. Prior to that, did we all have osteoporosis? No. Milk is for infants. It is consumed by mammals during infancy. Then there is a weaning process. And in adulthood, mammals do not require milk, especially not of another species. If we really needed milk, don't you think we'd keep on drinking it from our mothers? If that sounds weird, then consider that you're just drinking from someone else's mother when you drink cow's milk. And not even of your own species. B12. B12 is a vitamin which people associate with animal products. The fact is that bacteria produce B12. As such, it becomes a simple question of, Are you going to get B12 from the bacteria in isolation? Or are you going to exploit and kill billions of animals just to get B12 from the bacteria within their bodies? In addition, a B12 supplement is injected into livestock to keep their levels up due to topsoil being too intensively used and lacking in certain nutrients. So the choice becomes even more absurd. Either take a B12 supplement or give an animal a B12 supplement, then kill them. Why take the second option? Everyone needs vitamins. You're stupid if you think otherwise. It's expensive. Plant-based diet can be affordable as you need it to be. Common staples like bread, rice, pasta, beans, oats, vegetables are all going to be affordable. I have known people personally who have been made homeless, who subsequently had to live in accommodation, who continue to be vegan. Indeed, many animal products are expensive. Some might say that vegan substitute meats, etc., are expensive, and while that can sometimes be true, they are entirely unnecessary for a healthy diet. If you want specific advice, please contact me or any other vegan group for tips on cheap vegan food, but yes, you can do it. Look up Challenge 22, challenge22.com, please. There's also a Facebook group, Challenge 22. I'm in it. We're actually doing a round right now. Challenge 22 is a 22-day thing. Go on the website. They'll send you emails for recipes, and if you join the group, you can post questions, and then people like me will answer them in the comments. I'm just in the group to help people, honestly. Vegan food is all disgusting? Huh? Everyone loves French fries. Don't even say that shit. Everyone loves their vegan food. Everyone eats plants. Most people eat plants. If you're not eating plants, come on. Stop it. Dude, I've had people tell me they're on the carnivore diet and they're eating like ham and bread. Wheat is a grain. Wheat is a plant. You idiot. The fact is that a high percentage of foods that everybody eats regularly are vegan. Bread, pasta, rice, cereal, soup, many brands of cookies, chips, fries, spaghetti, roast vegetables, baked potato, curries, stir fries, many pastries, donuts, and so on can all be vegan without you even realizing. It's late. To discredit all food that does not contain animal products is ridiculous. Come on, you're not a carnivore. But on top of this, with a little research, you can find simple alternatives to anything you want. Just swap out a single ingredient in a recipe and you can continue to eat what you already were, pretty much. You might have tried a brand of non-dairy milk and disliked it. There are hundreds of brands of milks made of different things, almonds, rice, oats, etc. There's so many. Rice milk is the best. Soy milk is good too. They're all good, so good. Tasty. Drinking the milk by itself. I'm suckling off a nut. Some are sweetened, some are not, but please try them in context. Whether that's in your cereal or in your coffee, once it's in there, you will find that. Hey, come here, baby. Okay, she's tired. Once it's in there, you'll find that any difference is negligible. Honestly, for me, plant milk is so much better than cow's milk. Cow's milk is thick and nasty. And it hurts you. So, it harms my body. I don't know about that one. Similarly, with any other substitute, you may have tried cheese, meat, anything. There are so many brands, don't discount them because you had a bad experience. Some people complain about tofu, saying it's bland. Well, you're dumb because why are you cooking and not seasoning or marinating it? Oh my god, bro. Like, you used air for your seasoning? If that's your experience, then honestly, it wasn't prepared properly. If you take a handful of plain flour out of the bag and eat it, you shouldn't be surprised that it's gross. Does that mean you're not going to eat bread, bagels, pasta, cake, noodles anymore because you don't like plain flour? Of course not. Read up on tofu recipes. Thank you. Or don't even eat tofu if you don't want it. You don't need it. Find foods that you like. Animals are killed in crop harvest, so vegans kill more animals. See, that's the one I don't understand, because you have to, in order to eat, an animal's dead body, that animal had to eat something as well. You cannot raise an animal without feeding them. You're killing more plants than I am. So, yeah, you're killing animals and plants. But you're killing, I don't know, probably 100 times more animals. To feed animals to the age of slaughter requires many times more plants to be harvested than if we just ate plants ourselves. You might argue that we could instead just eat exclusively grass-fed animals who do not require grain, but this is entirely impractical. Firstly, most grass-fed animals are not fed 100% anyways, and secondly, it's not sustainable at all to try to feed 7 billion people exclusively on grass-fed beef. Did you know grass-fed, or maybe not grass-fed, but beef in general, yields 2 to 3% of our calories, our caloric intake. And beef farming is the number one killer of the planet. Oh my god, it is the worst, intensive farming. It is the worst animal okay, I'm not blaming the animal, but it is, they take up more space. So, yeah, eating beef is not intelligent. There isn't the space available for such a thing, and good luck living exclusively off beef and nothing else. Yeah, good luck. Honestly, I wish people would start doing that so they would die off faster. I hate these freaking people. I'm just kidding. Whilst there will be casualties in crop harvesting, and whilst vegans would prefer it not be the case, yeah, we're not trying to fucking harm animals. It is the least harmful thing people can do. Obviously, it would be even less harmful to grow your own crops on your own property and pick them by hand without spraying and without using machinery, which can run down animals. But most people don't have the space available to do that, to feed themselves at all, let alone all year round, every year. So out of all practical, this is why we have the economy. It's not, okay, like, yeah, you can have your own garden, but, you don't knit your own clothes, you don't make everything that you own, you know what I'm saying? That would be cool, but it's just not practical. So out of all practical options available, it is least harmful, and hopefully in the future, as people start to have more respect for animals and more accountability for how we treat them, more advances will be made in crop harvesting in ways that minimize casualties. Yeah, I've heard of, humane traps. This is different than crop harvesting, but when deer or whatever animal try to eat the plants, not deer, but fucking, what is it normally, rabbits? What I was trying to say was crop harvesting. Oh yeah, most of the time, mice, for example, whatever rodent you want to use, most of the time they feel the ground and they run away. They're not stupid, they want to live. In Australia, grass-fed beef is more ethical than eating wheat. What does this mean? I haven't heard this one. Let me see this. First of all, do you live in Australia? Because if you don't, then this argument is entirely irrelevant to your situation. Secondly, hi, Australians who are still reading. Thirdly, the whole argument being made here is that more animals die specifically in wheat harvesting than if you just ate grass-fed beef. Why is it grass-fed? Like, why can't it be corn? The argument ignores that the fact that there are other things to eat besides wheat on a plant-based diet. You could indeed not eat any wheat at all if you wanted. There are many people who already do that for whatever reason, health, allergies, or indeed ethics. Health. See, I'm not totally convinced that carbs are bad for your health. I know that if you eat a lot of carbs, it takes a load on your metabolism, but I need my carbs, bro. I don't give a fuck. I don't think it's unhealthy. I need the proof. Prove to me gluten is bad. Or indeed ethics. I don't think anyone doesn't eat wheat for ethics, but if you do that, you know, props to you. You know, you're going that extra mile. I like carbs, so carbs are also necessary. You need some carbs to live. There's no keto person who doesn't eat some carbs, okay? It's a low carb diet, not no carb. This is only it's only if you're a celiac that you can't have wheat, pretty sure. No, you can't have gluten. On top of this, it's pretty ridiculous to suggest that you'd just be eating grass-fed beef and nothing else. Chickens, turkeys, pigs, etc. are fed on grains, not on grass. So you'd just be eating beef and no other animal products, and you'd not be eating wheat. Nobody does this in reality, so the claim falls flat. All these claims fall flat, baby. You don't need to eat wheat if you really are concerned with the practices. You can eat anything, it doesn't have to be beef. Facts. Cows. I don't know what a beef is. I hate that word. Beef, pork, brainwashing. Plants have feelings. If you actually gave a fuck about plants, you'd be vegan, bro. First of all, if you're really serious about this, and no amount of scientific evidence will sway you, because guess what? They don't have feelings. Then it purely comes down to numbers. If a blade of grass is of the same importance to you as a dog, then it makes no sense to feed up livestock on millions and millions of plants and then kill the animal to eat. This would result in far more plant casualties, which you'd surely want to avoid as a dedicated plants' rights activist. Better to minimize those plant casualties by just feeding yourself on them, right? Or just kill yourself. I mean, if you're really concerned about plants having feelings, I'd be sick to my stomach every time I stepped on grass or I mowed my lawn, I would just kill myself, I'm affecting plants, I need to die. Nah. No, I don't think anyone actually believes this. Maybe there's a couple, but the people who say this, I think they're just trying to get a rise out of you, or they're just I can't think of any other excuse, so that's what I'm gonna say. Rather than feeding them many times more to animals, right? But let's be sensible. Plants lack brains and lack anything else that neuroscientists know to cause sentience. I did not know that. Okay, yeah, plants have cells. I know that. I did not know they didn't have brains. What I was saying to people was plants don't have a central nervous system, so that's why they can't feel pain. So it is true that they can have stimuli, let's say I was laying in some grass right now, which I do all the time. It's called grounding. It's really fucking good for your health and mental health. But, if I'm laying on top of grass, I'm sure, there's stimuli. They feel something, it's just not pain. They've been tickled. Some studies show plants to have input or output reactions to certain stimulation, but no study suggests sentience or an ability to feel emotions. You can plainly understand the difference between a blade of grass and a dog. Comparisons between the two are completely absurd. Don't force your opinions on others. Isn't that what you're doing? Like, you're forcing your opinion onto animals. First of all, I gave up trying to instigate conversation about animal rights years ago when I was about 10 years old. Holy fuck, have they been vegan since... How long have they been vegan? Holy crap. Anyways, I'm always jealous of people who went vegan before me. Realized that pretty much nobody wanted to be told, and it was more hassle than it was worth, and almost always just resulted in indignant arguments and excuses. So if you're reading this, I can pretty much guarantee that I did not talk to you about this. Either I have redirected you here because that's what you've accused me of and I didn't do it, or somebody else has redirected you here, in which case I can't vouch for them and it's not my responsibility. But in either case, if somebody did start talking to you about veganism, is it really forcing their opinion on you? To simply say, please consider not stabbing animals, is a very reasonable suggestion, is it not? Nobody is in a position to force you to do anything. If you want to keep stabbing animals, I am not in a position to prevent you. I mean, you could kill that person and erase their carbon footprint. No, I'm just kidding. Indeed, from a non-vegan perspective, your opinion is that animals should be stabbed in the neck. To me, that is a far more forceful application of an opinion than simply asking someone to reevaluate their position on something politely. Yeah, most vegans are polite. Like, there's always those ones that are like, I don't know. I mean, we are pushy. I think a lot of vegans are pushy, but, you know, there's some people that take it too far and, like, you know, they'll make personal jabs at you. And honestly, I don't think it makes you a bad person to eat animals, but I think you're making terrible actions. Like, stop being immoral. Personally, I couldn't date someone who eat animals. They'd have to be on the fence about changing their diet. They'd have to be, like, thinking about it, or they'd have to be, like, asking me about my food, or eating the same things that I do, or they'd have to be, like, vegetarian, trying to be vegan, you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, I don't hate meat eaters. Like, I can be around my friends who eat animals, but it's like, hey dude, I'm not attracted to you. Like, stop stabbing animals and maybe I'll give you a chance. I don't know. I just look at the footage and then I'm like, I can't be with someone who does that. Like, that's wild. It would just annoy the shit out of me. Stop judging me. No one's judging you. Honestly, I don't think it, like, defines your personality to not be vegan. Unless you're, like, a hunter and you got, like, tattoos of steaks and shit. But, like, most people don't give a fuck about, most people don't hunt. A lot of people don't even know they're eating an animal, like, we're not judging you. It's more like we're evaluating you, if that makes sense. To offer an alternative to animal abuse is not to judge you. Indeed, if somebody is asking you about the subject, it should suggest you that they think that you do care about animals, so their judgment of you is positive. They're saying, surely you wouldn't want to be involved with this. if they had a negative judgment of you, they wouldn't even bother with you and would assume you have no compassion for animals, which surely isn't true, right? Exactly, bro. If I'm like arguing with someone and I figure out they just don't care about animals, honestly, that's one of the first questions I'll ask. I'll just be like, hey, if I'm in a debate with someone, do you care about animals? Because honestly, like, I mean, you know, some people are just selfish. So I'll be like, oh, do you care about your health? You know? But that's what I'll ask them. I'll just be like, yeah, do you care about animals? Because, like, if you don't, there's really no point in having this conversation. You know, maybe you might listen, but guaranteed you won't if you don't care about animals. If you don't care about animals, you probably don't care about yourself, right? I mean, I don't know. A vegan was rude to me once. Sometimes people are rude. This has nothing to do with veganism. Anybody can be rude, vegan or otherwise. If a man is rude to you, you have a problem with all men? Women be like, I'm just kidding. If a person of a particular ethnicity is rude to you, do you have a problem with everyone of that ethnicity? Of course not. The actions or behavior of a single vegan should not encourage you to dismiss veganism. Veganism is just wanting to avoid hurting animals. Why do you want to hurt animals just because someone was rude to you? I'm not saying that anybody should be rude to you. It's not justified. But don't let it cloud the issue. It depends what they're being rude to you about. Vegans are closed-minded. Opposite. Most people are not born vegan. I wasn't. I was raised in ignorance of what goes on in animal agriculture, especially regarding egg and milk production. When I learned more, I had an open mind and took accountability. And I continue to do that today. Veganism is about being open to new information rather than ignoring it and trying to feel blameless. I read about this couple who were vegan and they killed their baby. I've heard about this and it's just like, is that all vegan parents? No. The reason that baby died is because of starvation. Veganism isn't about starvation or malnutrition. Just because a family abused their child doesn't mean it reflects on everyone else who is vegan. Likewise, there are non-vegans who starve their child to death. Facts. That has nothing to do with every other non-vegan either. These stories get hyped up because the media has whatever agenda they want. In a story where a non-vegan starves their child, it won't say, meat eaters starve child, will it? But if a vegan does, that gets brought up, even though it has nothing to do with their diet or lifestyle. They didn't starve the child because they're a vegan. Hitler was vegetarian. It had nothing to do with ethics. He had a health reason. He killed people. There's evidence to suggest that he wasn't. I think it said later on in life he was vegetarian, like way later on in life. It doesn't matter, but yeah. Let's skip all of that and pretend that he was a vegetarian for the sake of your argument. Presumably the point is anything that Hitler did, we should all do the opposite. It obviously makes no sense because as hideous as Hitler was, okay, he wasn't ugly, he was just a bad person. Hideous means ugly, right? Hideous meaning. Makes sense. Hideous. Extremely ugly or extremely unpleasant. I would say he's extremely unpleasant because Hitler was not ugly. I'm not saying he's hot, but I'm just like, that's not the right adjective. That obviously makes no sense because as hideous as Hitler was and what he did to Jews and other minorities, it does not mean that every single action he did can be compared to that or is even related. Well, I'm pretty sure him and the Nazis actually, I don't know what the fuck I was gonna say. I was just gonna say, Hitler and the Nazis were not only bad. Like, I think they did some good things, but in addition, why are we singling out Hitler? If you look at all dictators, serial killers, rapists, and tyrants throughout history, you can be sure that the vast majority of them were not vegan. So if the behavior of heinous criminals dictates that you do the opposite, then why are you ignoring all of them and only talking about Hitler? Yet your companion animals euthanized, that's the same. I haven't heard that one. That's a new one. It's not the same. This is not even close. Don't even... Wow. Okay. I'm sorry, what? When an animal is suffering horribly, and you can see that their quality of life is reduced to zero, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying earlier. That's the only time it's justified to kill animals, is if they are suffering, and if they're killing you. And a medical professional tells you that there is no hope of recovery and that every moment is a misery, then it makes total sense to have the animal put to death under anesthetic and with a lethal injection. By comparison, taking a completely healthy animal at a few months old and killing them because you feel like eating their dead body makes no sense at all if you claim to have any consideration for animals. There's no comparison to be made here. Put yourself in their position. You are suffering horribly, and you know you will never survive. Would you consider taking death? Maybe. But if you're living your life in your youth, would you consider it as even remotely comparable to just being murdered because someone felt like it? No. That woke her up. We have to test on animals to make sure cosmetics are safe. Seek help. At this stage, we have pretty sound knowledge of so much in chemistry. Most research is redundant, actually, and is only going on in the same way because of outdated laws stating that it must take place. Well, and actually, America, so the USA and Canada don't test on animals for medicine anymore. Still cosmetics, but, well, no, Canada stopped doing cosmetics as well. Good on them. Should have been a long time ago, but, should have never happened, but yeah. It's essentially ridiculous bureaucracy perpetuating what is clearly unethical at this time. Many products are no longer tested on animals. Some countries have outlawed it entirely for cosmetics, and it's no problem. There are alternatives to animal testing. I literally have a bottle of face mask, or a tube, or whatever. It says, I'm tested on humans, not animals. Because why the fuck would a fucking pig be putting on, a face mask? Because who the fuck thinks we have to test on animals? I've never heard that. That's weird, because, most people are like, oh, I like bacon, I don't want to be vegan. This person's like, but non-vegan makeup, though. But animal-tested products, though. What the fuck? Oh my god, are you kidding me? It's usually but cheese, but bacon. Oh, but there's no alternative to the makeup I'm wearing. Are you shitting me? So we have to test on animals to make medical advances? But medicine, though. Many people like to make the argument that X people will die unless we experiment on Y animals. Therefore, it's justified as human life is more important, and if you outlaw animal testing, then you have essentially killed X people. It isn't as simple as that, because actual animal testing has alternatives. Companies like Dr. Hadwin Trust. I don't know. I probably butchered that. It's a website, so it's not I don't know if that's the full word or it's separated. are working to continue medical research without having to torture and kill animals. There is another question: is animal testing even useful to us? As we are very different to animals. Read more here to learn more. Huffington Post. Why animal experimentation? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah. That's a no-brainer. We're another species. The results have no merit. But would you use medicine to save your life? Fuck yeah, dude. I'm not saying, okay, if you have to buy medicine, that's okay. I don't think it's tested on animals in the USA anymore. It might be in other countries. But if you have to take medicine, bro. But don't go into the store and get the non-vegan, makeup. Anyways, that's a no-brainer. I don't know, because I've never been in that situation, but it is highly likely that I would. Yes, putting me in a position where I would actually die means that my decision-making is going to be based around survival, probably to the exclusion of others entirely. Put a gun to my head, I might do anything which I'd otherwise say is unethical to avoid being shot. That does not make the action ethical outside those circumstances. On another note, if a cure already exists, then not using it on principle because of the way it was discovered is questionable in terms of its effect on anything. It might make a good final statement before you die from the condition if you could get news coverage, but ultimately I think it's understandable to take that cure to save your life because of the situation. But if we look at it in the terms of ongoing research on these animals, if you have a condition and at the time there is no cure, would you volunteer your companion animals to be tortured and then killed as part of the research? I don't think anyone would do that. Or would you say, they are nothing to do with it, and you'd rather accept your situation than have them experience hell so you can potentially find a cure? I know that I wouldn't want it to happen, but luckily it is not an either-or situation because there are alternatives to animal testing. I'm a nihilist. I don't care about anything apart from myself. I've never heard that. I find that highly unlikely, but even if that is true, a plant-based diet has many health benefits, and animal products are linked with all kinds of health problems. In addition, animal farming is not sustainable and will have to come to an end as the human population expands. Fuck yeah, I agree. It's simply illogical to feed billions of animals as well as ourselves. We don't have the space to do it. The vast overpopulation of these animals is also harming the environment, poisoning water with manure, and releasing tons and tons of greenhouse gases. Yeah, the dairy industry loves dumping manure into lakes, rivers. So, fun fact. It's not a fun fact, it's a shit fact. Stop supporting dairy. Dairy is scary. Weird how they spelled tons. Where are they from? Tonnes? What, is this an accent? Another term for metric ton. Okay, yeah, but from where? It doesn't matter to this video, but I'm curious. The plural of tons. Where does this fucking person live? Where do I put it? Slang. How do I even search this? Who uses it? British. It's a British person. If you're British, I'd fuck a British person, bro. Imagine, like, a British person moaning. Shut the fuck up. Oh, you've made me come. What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, but what do you feed your pets? Depends on what the animal is. Whatever a person chooses to feed their pet. Oh, I didn't finish the last one. Tons and tons of greenhouse gases. So this will affect you directly. As selfish as you claim to be, it makes sense to look after yourself, doesn't it? Yeah, but what do you feed your pets? Whatever a person chooses to feed their pets, their companion animals, has absolutely nothing to do with what they choose to eat themselves and what else they choose to boycott. So whether or not you feel that your companion animals require meat to live healthily should have no impact on whether you buy animal products outside of that. There are only two ways of looking at it. If you feel that your companion animal does not need meat to survive and that there are alternatives that would allow them to live absolutely healthily, then it just makes sense to do that. But if you disagree and you feel that it's 100% necessary to feed them meat, then in order to take care of that animal, you'd have to do that. The alternative is ridding yourself of that animal, which most people wouldn't want to do. Honestly, it depends on the animal. Fundamentally, these domesticated animals are being bred for enjoyment, and then once they're born, they can create a burden on the meat industry. The breeding of the animals in the first place is the core of the problem. That should stop, and I encourage people never to buy from a breeder. Adopt from a shelter. Adopt, don't shop. That way you are not contributing to the overpopulation of domestic animals in need of a home. See, that was just a nowhere. People gotta be like, oh, I need this dog. It has a stripe on its back, or whatever fucking excuse. Also, they did not mention, so dogs it's so easy to eat. It's so easy to feed a dog a vegan diet. Cats are, well, okay, so they're both like omnivores, right? But they live inside with us, so they'll eat whatever we feed them. Dogs will totally thrive on a vegan diet. Cats apparently, like, I don't know, they can with supplements, but it's just easier to feed them meat and I don't know. I've heard it both ways, like they can be vegan, but it's a bit harder. Some cats are like stubborn, they don't like trying new things, I've heard. But yeah. There are wars going on, people starving in the world. Wars and starvation are terrible, but they're not aided by you funding animal abuse, and so I fail to see the relevance. In fact, as it requires more crops and resources in order to farm animals, it could be argued that is more wasteful and therefore more harmful to those starving. Yeah, going vegan helps starving people. To be used the Earth's resources in this manner when it's entirely unnecessary and could be better used. Fucking second that. Yeah, but sweatshops and slave labor. Yeah, but guess what? I buy fair trade, bitch. Yeah, but guess what? Meat industry is not fair trade. People want to kill themselves. Imagine going to work and you have like a deadline, and it's like, or whatever, it's like you go to work, you punch in, and your fucking manager or whatever is like, hey dude, you have to kill this many animals before you walk out the door. Have a fun day. No one is happy in the slaughterhouse industry unless they're sadist. Let's get that straight. And that's 500,000 people. 500,000 people work in the slaughterhouse industry. Look what you fund. Hi, baby. You're fucking adorable. Okay. Funding animal abuse does not help those stuck in slave labor or working in sweatshop conditions. It's a separate issue, and the fact that anybody funds slavery or sweatshops does not mean you also fund animal abuse. But if you are against slavery and slave labor, it makes sense to also avoid funding them when possible. Many people seem to have the attitude, well, all kinds of bad things are going on in the world, so I give up. No. We can focus on any issues. Let's focus on all the issues. Racism, sexism, homophobia, speciesism, xenophobia, ageism, sexism, transphobia, ableism. There's so many. You can discriminate on basically anyone of any kind for any reason. Doesn't make it okay. Just because that's, I don't know. People suck, that's why. They don't understand empathy. You're not born with empathy, you're taught. And surprise, surprise, lots of people are having kids and they don't need to. I hate to say it, but there's so many kids and babies that should not exist. You know, they're having a terrible existence. Their parents didn't want to have them, whatever the case may be, when they could have used protection. It's better to have not exist than to exist and have a shitty life. Antinatalism, look it up. Yes, I'm antinatalist. Please don't judge me. This fucker is so cute. You're so adorable. Your eyes. Okay. But if you care about issues, do something. Do something about all of them. I buy mostly fair trade, like my clothes. I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't do, but I try to care mostly about the environment. So I'll buy organic, fair trade, certified B Corporation, 1% for the planet, fucking non-GMO. Those are the best labels. Because they got paid well and it's good for the environment. Oh, and FSC certified or whatever, where they replant the trees that they used to put it in the cardboard or whatever it is. Your fucking breath is terrible, bro. I also have bracelets that are recycled plastic out of the ocean. I do what I can, but I mean it also I get something out of it, but yeah. Compost, I recycle, stuff like that. I plant trees, I have an app where I walk 10,000 steps and then I plant a tree. Anyways, that's off topic. Yeah. I do care about more issues than veganism is my whole point. I care about animals and I care about humans. So I do what I can for the environment. That attitude doesn't help anyone. Take responsibility for what you're doing and find alternatives where you can. If you feel strongly about these subjects, buy secondhand clothes, and secondhand technology where you can, so you don't fund these practices. Buy items manufactured in your country where slave labor is illegal. We're not in a country where slave labor is illegal, so I hope this isn't towards Americans. Look into the companies which are working in other countries to help those who are being exploited, offering them fair employment. Yeah, literally, what's it called? Fucking, you go on most websites nowadays, most company websites, it'll be transparency, our carbon footprint, our sourcing, shit like that. Yeah, but there's other ways to promote veganism. This is ineffective. Some people won't connect at all. There's no form of outreach which is 100% effective. If there was, then that's what everyone would be doing. That's facts. But in reality, all forms of activism have an impact, whether you agree or not. Because at the end of the day, it makes the person think about their choices. Because they're thinking in their head, like, oh my god, defense mechanism, what excuse, you know. Most importantly, if you aren't vegan and you're trying to tell me how best to get the message across, then just tell me what to say to you, and I'll say it back. And then you'll go vegan, right? Alright, well that's everything. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm freaking tired. That took a long time, but I did learn a couple things that I didn't know already, so that's pretty dope. Thanks for watching. If you got to the end, if anyone watched this, you know, you're goated. You're a G. So, thank you. Alright, have a good night.